the weekend, President Trump got the United States involved in Israel's disastrous war against Iran, striking 3 of their nuclear energy facilities. Now, Iran had warned of retaliation for those strikes. Apparently, that has now gotten underway, okay, as U.S. bases in the area have been targeted, if not hit. And so, of course, after that retaliation, here comes our retaliation, because we're of course going to retaliate in kind. So here we go. Yes, where does it end? Where does it end? Apparently regime change, as Trump had alluded to in a post on Truth Social. So there's that. Let me show you that real quickly here. It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? Okay. Not good. Not good at all. So that said, I was told that a vote for Trump is a vote for peace. That he's not going to send people off to these wars, that he's going to be America first. And if you vote for Harris, it's going to be, oh my God, World War III. You're going to get drafted. It's terrible. But wait a minute, I'm not seeing America first here. I'm seeing Israel first and defense contractors first. So where are these now anti-war Republicans that I kept hearing so much about during the election? Turns out, not really there. Very few and far between, with a couple of notable exceptions. In fact, here, let's first go to Republican voters, where you have, according to a YouGov Snap Poll, 68% of Republican voters, they're in favor of these attacks, even though, and this is the next thing here, even though many of them believe that it will lead to a wider war in the Middle East. That's right. 68% of Republicans still support it, even though the majority believes, oh yeah, this is gonna, it's very likely or somewhat likely that here we go, we're gonna do more, it's gonna escalate, and what, but boots on the ground? Oh, here we go. Great. Here we go. Jumping into a disastrous war in Iran. If you thought Iraq was bad, Iran, way worse. Way worse. They got a population of 90 million in that country. Way bigger than Iraq. Way bigger than Afghanistan. What an incredible disaster this is going to be. So now, that said, the people in favor, the neocons, Bill Kristol, Mike Pence, Mark Levin, MAGA Mike Johnson, obviously, Lindsey Graham, who never met a war he didn't like. Here, he said this, quote, "Well done, President Trump. Well done. Getting us involved in another Middle Eastern conflict. Yeah, whoa, it's what we wanted all along. All along." Texas Senator John Cornyn called this a, quote, "courageous and correct decision." Alabama Senator Katie Britt said that these bombings were strong, surgical. Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen said America first, always. Except that this isn't America first at all, because Iran was not a threat to America. Not a threat at all. So how's this America first? No, this is Israel first. This is defense contractors first, as always. There's more. Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman Roger Wicker of Mississippi said that Trump made a deliberate and correct decision to eliminate the existential threat posed by the Iranian regime. What? Existential to who? To us? What? These statements are just comical. How was Iran a direct threat to the United States? No, it turns out we were always the threat, and guess what? We just proved it. We are the existential threat to Iran. And it's not the first time we've meddled in that country, too. We overthrew their democratically elected government back in the 50s. and installed a brutal dictator, to which then they toppled and installed a religious fundamentalist government. It seems like, I don't know, we effed up the country of Iran real bad, and now the chickens have come home to roost. Okay, so here we go. Now, that said, I mentioned some of the Republicans that are against this. Massie came out and said Congress should be the one making the decision whether or not to use military force. Okay, that's something. To which Trump said, oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to primary you now. Yeah, that's right. He said, quote, MAGA is not about lazy, grandstanding, non-productive politicians, of which Massie is definitely one. Oh, that is projection right there. Really? You want to talk about lazy, grandstanding, non-productive politicians? That pretty much is all of MAGA, and especially you. Then you had Marjorie Taylor Greene, who tried to play both sides, saying this, quote, I can also support President Trump and his great administration on many of the great things they're doing. Like what? While disagreeing on bombing Iran and getting involved in a hot war that Israel started. Disagreeing with his policy is not disloyalty, she added. Critical thinking and having my own opinions is the most American thing ever. Because contrary to what brainwashed Democrat boomers say, oh, the projection, Trump is not a king, MAGA is not a cult, and President Trump has surrounded himself with people who once disagreed with him and even ran against him for president, to which he has forced them to bend the knee. They have bent the knee. Come on, man. and by the way, now that they have bent the knee, they support, well, they either support or lie to themselves and others about what is actually going on. Come on, Marge, what are you doing? I got to ask you whether or not this is cult behavior. These are posts from, look at all these MAGA people, right? Oh, if you're no longer MAGA because Trump wiped out Iran's nuclear sites, you were never MAGA to begin with. Gunther Ingeman, oh, if you're upset that Trump took out Obama's nuclear facility. What the? I mean, that's just, what the hell? Obama. Oh, come on. Val, you're no longer MAGA because Trump wiped out nuclear sites. You were never MAGA in the first place, so a nice little cop pasta over there. Barron, oh, I may upset a lot of people with this, but you're no longer MAGA because Trump wiped out Iran's nuclear sites. You were never MAGA to begin with. Again, that's it. Are you sure that this is not a cult? Because that sounds like the cult got the talking points. Seriously. So, look, at the end of the day, I have a feeling that we're going to see whatever MAGA anti-war people that are left, and there's not many to begin with, all right, they will be lining up to support Donald Trump's new war. Almost guaranteed. Look, on Sunday, Chris LaCivita spoke to Axios and said, you know what? Any Republican who undermines Trump on this issue, we're going to come after them. We're going to primary them. That's right. And in addition to this PAC, there's already a PAC who also will likely target any Republican who speaks out against this military action, which means, of course, you have the majority of Republicans, the majority of congressional Republicans, and Trump's cabinet that seems to be firmly behind this conflict. Where's the anti-war? Where's the anti-war right that I keep getting told, oh, no, they're going to hold him accountable. Trust me. Trust us. That's the line. No war with Iran. No war with Iran. It's the line, okay? Then they're going to turn on Trump. They're going to hold him accountable. Where are you? Where the fuck are you? You were never there to begin with. MAGA's anti-war mask has been completely and firmly pulled right off. Okay? That's it. You are the war party. Y'all are the war party. Now, look, that said, I would be doing a massive disservice if I didn't mention the fact that, yes, while Republicans are the ones that keep starting these wars, Democrats are the ones that keep enabling the Republicans to do so. How so? How so? By delegating more and more authority to the executive branch over the years to presidents, Bush and Obama, to keep doing more war. Not reining them in. Now, Democrats, of course, are doing the thing too late that they should have done 10 years ago, 20 years ago, to try to bring back the power to declare war to Congress. But it's too late. Like I said, this is after decades of delegating it to Republican presidents, while Democratic presidents, again, Republicans will start the war, and Democrats will continue those wars until they are forced to end them. Iraq and Afghanistan, great example. They were ended, yes, by Democrats, but guess what? Far too late. Far too late. Never should have been started in the first place. If only they hadn't sat there and continued to help Republicans, okay, by giving the president more and more power to do unilateral strikes after 9/11, then perhaps none of this would have happened. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.